forward, okay? So what is the solution to the following systems of equations? And it's a multiple choice question, which means one of these four letters, one of these 4 points is the solution to that system. There's one of these 4 points where both of these lines intersect, right? Where there's a point, one of these 4 points, either -1,5, 1,7, 5,1, or 1,5, is the point where these two lines that I have here, 1 and 2, intersect. And we have to figure out which one of those is true. Well, if whatever the point is has to satisfy both of the equations, right? It has to give me a true statement for both of the equations. So we're going to go through process of elimination. So the first equation that I have is y equals 11x minus 6. So I'm going to check, is this point -1,5 the solution? So in this point, I know that x is equal to -1, and I know that y is equal to +5. So I can take these two numbers and I can plug them into my equations and see if it works for both of them. Okay, it can't just be for one of them. It has to work for both of them in order for it to be a solution. So the first thing I have is y equals 11x minus 6. So I can have 5 equals 11 times -1 minus 6. And when I put this into my calculator, I want to check if it gives me 5. So when I put it into the calculator, 11 times -1 is -11, minus 6 is actually -17, which means that this is not a true statement. This is false. So this point is definitely not on the first line that I have, okay, which automatically means that it's not a solution. This cannot be your answer. The moment you see that that point doesn't work for one of your equations, automatically that cannot be your answer. You don't even have to check the other one. Okay, at the moment that you have one of them that it doesn't work. So now we're going to check the second point. So the second point, I have x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 7. So again, I'm going to check the first equation that I have here. So I have y equals 11x minus 6. So I have 7 equals 11 times 1 minus 6. 11 minus 6 is actually going to give me 5. And 7 is not equal to 5, right? So again, this is false. So should I have to check the other, should I keep checking the other equation if the first one, or if it doesn't already work for the first one? Do I have to check the second one? You can answer in the chat.
No.
Or no, right? So we can eliminate this answer as well. Okay, so now let's check the third. Let's check the third point. So on the third point, I have 5, 1. So x is 5 and y is 1. Okay, and again, I'm going to start checking. I have y equals 11x minus 6. So I have 1 equals 11 times 5 minus 6. And 55 minus 6 is definitely not going to give me 1, right? So this doesn't work either. This is false, so it cannot be that point either. So now we go on to the last point. I have 1, 5. So I have x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 5. So I'm going to try the first. I'm going to do it in 2 colors. So I have y equals 11x minus 6. So 11 times 1 minus 6. So I have 5 equals 11 times 1 minus 6. 11 times 1 minus 6 is definitely 5. So far it works, right? But I can't stop there. I have to make sure that it also works for the other one. Because sometimes you might have a point that works for the first equation, but doesn't work for the second one. So you always want to make sure, even though it works for the first one, that you check both of them as well. Okay, the only moment you stop is when it doesn't work. But if it worked for the first one, now you have to also check that it works for the second one as well. So for the second equation, I have y equals -6x plus 11. So I have 5 equals -6 times 1 plus 11. And -6 times 1 plus 11 is definitely going to give me 5 as well. So since that point satisfied both of the equations, since this was a point that worked for both of the equations, that means that that is my solution. Okay.